met my then girlfriend, now fiance.
Who's God?
Done.
Street like, show me how you get down. How you already told you on the beach like, hoy, who's the bad boy MC? 1122 running up street like, show me how you get down. I already told you on the beach like, they know me.
You know the grime scene. All I'm saying is, someone else, maybe a jumped on the grime scene slightly late, would have heard Forward Rhythm and said, draw or any tune and saying, or full tune, Bats and Gas, draw for the.
Took me through some remolding and some changing, and I used to see all these people blowing and bussing, and it was bugging me because I love music and I want to be in the mix.
I think that's a twang.
But then,
Because it's called trap.
But then,
music.
But then,
For trappers, back to the beginning. Back to 8 bars, 16 bars, 32 bars, 4 bar hooks, 8 bar hooks.
Until this day, no, hear me out.
Would you have made
hold
it?
on. Until this day, people say Kanye West's Jesus Walks is a gospel tune.
Like, when I'm letting people know that what team I'm representing, because a lot of artists are scared. Let's not get it twisted. They're shook. The trap was made for the drug dealers and to bless the trap stars.
So you gotta remember that gospel music, especially in the UK, is a niche.
Yeah, a big niche.
Christian hip hop isn't. So you got a niche, and then you got a niche within a niche. So it's a very small demographic. It's like.
So is gospel music the beat? Is gospel music the bars? Is it the what is gospel music? Episode 8 Sound Word is going to be amazing. I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be 3 amazing people who are well gifted talking about what it's like to be a celebrity and also be a Christian. It's going to be amazing stuff.
What's really good, people? It's your brother-in-law Triple O. I'm here for today's episode, Christians in Showbiz. It should be a nice time, so let's see what happens.
Yo, right now you're locked into Sound Words, Gracious K.
you done now. Graph the message.
Guys, welcome to Sound Words, another episode. This time it's episode 9, and today we're looking at Christians in Showbiz. And today I've got 3 amazing gifted men with me, guys. Guys, introduce yourselves.
What's happening, people? You're locked into Gracious K.
What's good? It's Raphael the message.
What's really good, people? It's your brother-in-law Triple O.
Praise God, man. And guys, like, I think we should start off with, wherever you guys come from in terms of your walk with the Lord, and also musically, wherever you come from, for the people that know you and don't know you.
Okay, I'll start. My name is Gracious K. A few years back, I had arguably one of the biggest dance tunes to come out of the UK urban scene, as they call it, the Migraine Skank. A lot of people have heard it. It was an amazing time. It kind of had me touring the world and doing many things, many sick things, to be honest. But then there was a decline because in all the touring and all the kind of going to unis and performing and whatnot, I never anticipated how quick music can change. Like back then, like you had a time period which is much longer than we have today, but it was a thing where it's like, what's next? But because the tune blew up so quick, I didn't know the what's next. I had no what's next because I never anticipated it to be. You know what I'm saying? So that happened, and then I was kind of exploring music and experimenting, sending it to DJs, and they would be like, "No, we want Migraine too." And so that was kind of a setback because it was like I felt like the song was bigger than me. So because the song was bigger than me, it was hard for me to establish what I felt I could do, because I'd send it to someone and then it was like, okay, well, this is good, but yeah, we need a migraine, we need another migraine. I was like, I don't want to do another migraine. You know what I'm saying? So it's a question if I should have done another migraine or whatnot, but at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. I believe that nothing is by chance. Like, God does everything for a reason, because I could have had something else and went for a period that I wasn't, you know what I mean? So what happened was, that decline happened. I was trying, wasn't getting the same love, and I kind of found out how cold the music industry can quickly become. So the DJs that would be calling for me to come on their show stopped calling, and the promoters that would be calling to perform at their clubs, that died down. So
did your walk with God, was that before Migraine Skank or was it after Migraine Skank?
After.
Okay,
Because
talk to us about
during
that.
Migraine Skank, my mum used to say, thank God. And I've always had a consciousness of the Lord, but my actual own walk came later. So it was a thing where I've kind of come to a conclusion, or I've learned that God will take you somewhere, and if you don't acknowledge where He's taking you from, you can quickly get brought down. And in that process, I felt like this is what was happening. I've been put on a pedestal, and the pedestal I put on, I believed I did it. So there was a lesson to be learned, and I learned it. You know what I'm saying? So I met my then girlfriend, now fiance.
Praise God.
Don't know. And she was like, if you're gonna get with me, these are some things you need to know. And she told me I'm a Christian and whatnot. And I was like, okay, cool. But then she was heavily involved with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So I was cool, and the reason why we got on is because I respected and had an understanding, but not to the depth of where she was at. So everyone in her church had heard about me, but I just weren't ready to come, because I thought you have to be holier than thou before you step into a church, the misconception that many of us have. So it was a come as you are. So I came, and I came to impress her. I'll make that a big point. I came to impress her, and she loved it. She was over the moon. She thought, yeah, boom, we made it. And I didn't come again for like 6-7 weeks, and then I came again, and then it actually became about me, my own walk. So then, as I started reading scripture, as I started understanding the Lord, as I started finding my own walk, I started understanding that there was things, a fire that I was going through, that I wasn't going to be burnt, but I was going to be remolded and put through a process. And then I come to the conclusion and was told that everything happens for a reason. So if I had blew how I thought I was going to blow at that time, I wouldn't have been able to handle the magnitude of it. Because what happened was, when I was getting money, I was spending it on Gucci, I was spending it on nonsense. So it's like there was trials and things I had to learn in order for me to kind of develop my character. So now, any blessing I get, I know where it's from. Whereas before, I didn't acknowledge where it was from. Do you know what I'm saying? It was me, my own skills. But then who gave me the skills? And that's what I didn't understand. So I think now, the place I'm in now, I know who I am through Christ.
Amen.
And I didn't before. And I think once, the main thing people need to know is who they are and what's their purpose. Once you can determine your purpose and who you are, everything kind of becomes easier. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that walk took me through some grueling times. It's like Esther. Took me through some remolding and some changing, and I used to see all these people blowing and bussing, and it was bugging me because I love music and I want to be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be in the mix, and not even a thing where a disrespectful way, but when you love music and you're in a competitive sport, you think, I'm better than this person, or I've got the same equal thing to offer as this person. So what is it? But I realised it wasn't my time, because everyone likes to do things on their own time.
God's time is the best.
God's timing is the best. So I just see it as preparation meets hard work meets God. Be prepared for when God lays something in your lap, and be ready to work hard
when it comes.
You understand?
It's good.
And that's how I feel the cycle come round.
We're going to come back to it. You know, you've got a song out now. We're going to speak about that. But let's go. Let's talk to us about your journey.
Well, for me, it's probably a bit similar. To be fair, obviously, I came out of. I was born and raised. I was born and raised in church, but as long as I say, it got to an age where I was able to make my own decision, and as soon as I could, 12, 13, I just didn't go. So I knew about church, you know, I got A&RE because I just knew about the Bible, but it was just because it was just something that you went to. And then I think I went through a lot of situations in my life when I was younger. Obviously, the crowd that I was keeping, I was always, I think going through school, I was good at football. Then I was good. Then obviously I started to do music. I was really good at music, and it was like because of those things, I was always used to being popular. So you start to hang around with a crowd that are in that similar type of mode. Before I knew it, I started to actually do music to a good level where I was in a group called South Soldiers, and we had a song that we toured the whole country with the stuff that we were doing.
That was the song about gun crime, isn't
it?
The Tottenham top and the same colour as Arsenal. That was the bar.
So,
do you remember that?
So obviously with that we got really we got really big. We was in labels kind of all the time, really, to be honest. But at the same time, we had a really big underground following in terms of South London, doing all the DVDs and all those things in South London, where there was and it was really big. And obviously at these times, I'm just in college. I'm just like, this is like crazy in a way, to be honest. And then obviously through that, started to keep developing, doing more and more music, and I think there was still that kind of element in me that I knew that. I guess that church was something that I knew about, and I was, my family, my mum and my grandma always saying, go to church, do this, but I was just like, that's for them, man. To be honest, like I'll do that later, kind of thing. Like, I'm cool. Like obviously things are going well, so I'm cool. Like, and then obviously with that, it just kept blossoming. And obviously some people may know as well, my dad was a reggae artist in his own right. So that was always kind of
the big tune, Black Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas, Tipper Irie, So
what song was that again? That was
Hey Mama. But even it was always kind of in my line. Everybody associated me with music, to be honest. It was always like, oh, music. Your dad does music. You do music. Oh, did your dad bring you in? Not really, but it was just synonymous with that. Obviously, started to work with all the kind of the major players, like. Even like Gracious will tell you, there was times when we was even together, just going all these we'll go see Wiley in the studio.
I remember.
Even like you, like Chip. I was on tour with Tiny. I was on tour with Jessie J. I was on tour with
Tinchy's album as well.
Tinchy. It was Wiley's album and Tinchy was on it. But all of them really, I worked with all of them, and it got to a stage where there was always one. It was always like I was one step off, and I didn't really understand it. It was like. Everyone would be like, yeah, you're actually one of the best in the game. But I was always like one step off, and it was partly down to me because sometimes I didn't really work hard. I was always told I was good, so I just never really put the effort in where I thought I need to just consistent. Obviously I was at uni doing music at the same time, so it was difficult. And when I started to actually get to the point where there was labels, I was starting to do songwriting for people. It was like, why is everybody else kind of elevating past me? And it was like, I just couldn't understand it. And then, as I'm sure everyone, like us three know, with music sometimes, you get the good parts of music where you're getting paid for every show that you're doing, you're getting money, you're getting publishing, you're getting royalties. But then there's also the other side that you're too famous in your area, because like we're not Michael Jackson, but in our areas it feels like that at times. So you're too famous to try and get a job or to do those things, but at the same time you've got bills, so before you know it, you've got bills. So before you know it, you're and obviously aside that, most of the people that you're friends with, you're cool with, the crowd that you're keeping are probably not, they haven't got jobs either, but they're doing whatever they're doing. So before you know it, you're embroiled in that stuff. And I was always someone, I didn't see myself as a cold-hearted guy or a thing, but I just felt like if I can get money, I need to get money. And then I think what happened with my journey, what took my kind of first for music, because I wasn't really about the money or trying to be the what's his name, the most impressive guy to girls or the thing. I did that, like I don't want to sound kind of thing, but you kind of just got that anyway because of we'd always done music, so it was never something that was an issue. But it was always my first for music made me actually do kind of bad things or things that I knew that probably weren't the best thing to do, but I just need to get paid so that I can do that. And then obviously it took to a sense where it all kind of came crashing down, and there was a proper, like a really low point in my life that I don't know what happened, but it was kind of like, I guess God had to put me to the depths and the lowest point. Like I remember you used to say to me, because we used to speak a lot, and Francis, I thank God for even Francis' life, to be honest, because he was in the Word, and probably one of the only things that was having that little word in my ear when I was doing a madness. And then I don't know, through that it kind of, I don't know, something just changed, and I just started going for God. And I think the issue that I had, and up to now, it was the balance between music and everything that I knew in music, as opposed to now I've got this new thing that I've realised is the truth.
It's the truth.
But what is that? Does all this part of my life not
That's
exist?
a scary feeling, thinking like I've been about this all my life.
Because you got to understand, for me, that was all. Like that was all I knew. That was pretty much all I was in my head. I thought that this is all I am.
This is something I'm always gonna do.
Yeah, this is something I'm always gonna do. Something I'm always gonna be. Everybody knows me as Messi. Like most people know me. People don't even know my real name. Like it just gets to that point.
I don't even call you by your name.
Yeah, exactly. And it gets to that, and then you think this, and then but then at the same time with this, it's like there's so much negativity in the industry. There's so much people that, like similar to what Lance said, they call you one day, the next day they're not relevant anymore. Like you're on tour talking every day, then they don't call you because maybe they've got to a different level, or you've gone back in a level and you're trying to do this new
someone
thing.
New.
And this is someone else that's popping, and then it got hard for me to juggle that, so I stopped. I kind of fell out of love with music. It became like a hate, and it was like I kind of hated it because it was almost like I love this thing so much, but then at the same time it's like treated me so badly, if that makes sense. But similar to what Lance was saying, I think I had to get to a stage where I realised what I was doing music without any purpose. I was doing music without a real aim, just as and it was based on myself. It was based on self. Anyone like all the music was about how good I was, how fly I was, how skilled I was, how many girls I could get, how much money I could have. It was all based on the self, and I think there had to be a remolding process and a growth that allowed me to be where I am now. If that makes sense. So I just thank God for that. I just thank God.
Praise God. Well, Triple, talk to us, man.
I guess my story is a little bit similar to yours in the sense that I've always been brought up in the church. But I guess with me, like, it's literally been a thing of I've always been in the church. So it was a thing of cool. My parents, born again believers. I was in the church, growing up in the church. Got to secondary school, but I think that was a turning point for me because obviously, going to the school that we went to, our school was notorious for MCs, for music. Like it was just notorious. Like there were guys a couple of years older than us that were doing their thing. There were guys. So what it was, I think what got me started, what it was, so there were quite a few guys in my year. And I remember, I think I was in like year 8 or year 9.
You were same year as Tinchy.
So yeah, me and Tinchy were in the same class, so in the same year, and we were in the same maths class. So I remember we had maths period 1 every Monday, and he would
What teacher?
It was Mr. Ashmore.
Yeah,
Do you remember Mr. Ashmore? Mr. Ashmore. No, it was cool. And I remember sometimes seeing, and he would just come in on Monday morning and look like, sometimes he'd be looking a little bit tired. I'd be like, bro, what's he saying? He said, oh yeah, I was at Eskimo dance, I was this. And so in my head I'm like, bro, you're doing this thing serious. Like he was actually doing the thing. So some of the other guys were like picking up, and then everyone was starting to form their crews. So like, alright, cool. So you know, a couple of years, I think we had Demon was a couple of years older than us.
Yeah,
I think D-Double would already.
D-Double, he went up 6 form.
He went to 6, so D-Double just left.
Sharky.
So then, so Strider was doing his thing. Then in the year below, you were doing your thing. Delusion was doing his thing. So I'm seeing all of these MCs, and I'm hearing about the legacy that's being birthed in the school. So in my head, I'm like, oh no, I want to be part of the legacy. I want to be part of that legacy. Like I want to be one of those individuals. So I was always one of those individuals who was on the outside looking in. So the man that were doing ciphers in the cage, in the playground, and I'd be on the outside looking in. Certain guys are doing grams, you know, and then. In the evenings, certain guys were going to do radio. Like certain guys would do radio, the sets and everyone. But I never really got that far in. So then, you know, sometimes when you're doing ciphers and they're like, cool, we need somebody else just to fill in a gap, come and spit. I was spraying. It's like, nah. It's like, yeah, kind of thing. Meanwhile, I'm still going to church. I'm faithfully, well, I thought I was faithfully serving the Lord, and just kind of just ticking the boxes, just ticking the boxes in the church. So I remember, like, so in essence, yeah, I had a passion. I was developing a passion for music. So this is what goes. So I'm seeing what's happening at school, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do what these guys are doing. Then I'm coming to church, and I'm like, oh, but like I know that I shouldn't really kind of get caught up in what they're doing. So I remember there were some rappers in my church. And they're like, yo, let's have a cypher. And then keeping in mind, all my bars I'd written at this time were for school. So there's a cypher at church, and everyone's spitting Christian bars, this and that. So that gets to me now. And I don't have any Christian verses, so I start spitting verses from... Everyone just stops, just looking at me like, what are you doing? Like, we know your mum and dad, you don't live that life. Like, your parents in the other room getting that, you know, like, no, you don't live that life. I felt so embarrassed. I just sat there, I thought, this is, I need to actually decide what I'm doing myself here. So I thought to myself, all right, cool, let me just I love music, I love Jesus, so I thought, you know, and then let me just put the two together. So like these times I'm getting to the end of secondary school, and then I'm like, all right, cool, you know, let me just kind of just run with this Christian thing. Sixth form comes, and then like 2005, I'm like actually make a conscious decision to take Christian music seriously. These times I think I was just in still second and sixth form kind of thing. And I remember, Grace, you remember like even when I think in sixth form, when we even like had a little battle kind of thing. These are talking about years. So these times I'm like thinking, I'm still kind of, but I thought, you know, actually, no, leave that and just do your thing. So I remember, 2005, I remember this, I put together a little promo CD. And here, keeping in mind, I'm still young in the Christian faith, but I really want to do music. So there's this thing that they do in Excel called Festival of Life. And it's literally like one of the biggest gatherings of Christians. I think there's about like 30,000 Christians. Excel Centre.
Massive, yeah.
So I printed up about 150 copies of my promo CD that I just made. Like I wasn't mentored. I just literally like, I'm a Christian. I make Christian music. Got my beats from everywhere. 9 tracks and just put together. Went into a Festival of Life. And you know, like the guys outside JD Sports. Literally, I'm running around Excel Centre, just handing out my promo CDs to anyone and everyone that would take it. Remember, I did 150 copies. Got rid of all of them that day, and then started meeting people and whatnot. So that was cool. These times I'm started getting shows and everything like that, but I still wasn't grounded in the faith. I still didn't understand what it was to be a Christian. So I was just making Christian music without knowing what it meant to be a Christian. So 2005, 2006, 2007. So I'm like 3 years into music ministry, and I'm like, music has grown a little bit, and my understanding of music has grown a little bit, and people have started to kind of respect the art form just a little bit more. I wouldn't say I got saved properly until 2009. By these times, I've been doing Christian music for 4 years. It wasn't until someone sat me down and was like, all right, cool, look, listen, let me walk you through the gospel. Let me talk to you about the faith properly. So things started going from there, cool. So I remember now, it's like 2011. I'm on my way, so it's like April, May, June 2011. So this is July 2011. The album just came out. And I get a text from Governor B, and he's like, "Oh, congrats, bro." I'm like, "Congrats? What are you talking about?" I said, "Oh yeah, bro, just you've been nominated for Mobo." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I'm on train. I didn't know. I genuinely didn't know. So you know, last year or 2 years ago when Skepta won for best video, and he said on stage like he didn't even know that he got nominated. People thought, "Oh no, I'm not discrediting the Mobos." but like I believe him when he said he genuinely, like he just rolled up. I got a text from Gav. He's like, "Yo, congrats on the nomination." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, bro, you just got nominated." So I'm on my phone. I remember I was on train. Quickly, if I went on the ground, I got off the train, so I could still have signals. So I went onto the mobile site and I was like, "Yeah, Snap, you're nominated. All right, cool." Wow. I didn't even know what to do then. Wow. I wasn't looking for it. Wasn't working towards it. Wasn't doing anything towards it. All right, cool. So we started doing campaigning, getting people to vote, this and that, blah blah. Fast forward to November 2011, when the actual ceremony was. Went up to Scotland, and we won it. I was like, "Oh snap!" Like, okay, cool.
Didn't expect that though to win the
mobile.
That
was surreal because I'm in this. I've done shows. I've done all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But then I'm in the same room with people that I look up to, like Jessie J and all them kind of mainstream. Like, bro, I'm in the same room with these guys. I'm sitting on the same tables as different tables. You know, and I remember. So this was what kind of brought it home. So I'm in the foyer. You know, they're kind of like getting before the ceremony started. And you know, when you're in church, you see some of your brothers, you give them hugs, you know, kind of. But remember, I don't know no one. I came up with 2 people, and you know, and a few of the other nominees, but like no one. I don't. That's not my circle. Someone comes up to behind me and gives me a hug. Yo, what's going on? In my head, I'm thinking, I don't know anyone here like that for me to be hugging anyone. Turn around, it was Tinchy. And I was like, "Oh, swear down." He's like, "Yeah, bro, how you doing? This and the other. Good to see you here, blah blah." Yeah, cool. I was like, so in my mind, I'm thinking back to maths class, and I'm thinking, "Rah!" And now it's kind of like
that must have been nice
that in itself was surreal. Then to actually win it, and then to kind of give the speech and everything. So that was cool. 2011. Honestly, the next day, I'm back in school. I'm back in uni.
Wow.
So I went to the ceremony, came back. The next day, I had lectures.
Shit.
Walked into lectures and nobody was none the wiser of what had happened.
And I was going to stop you there anyway, because I want to talk about that. How big and important is the gospel award in the mobiles? What does it mean?
It's a token award because gospel music in general is a firm foundation of like just black music. That's like
wow.
That firm like the,
wow.
You know,
and
so
music comes from that.
Yeah, so I remember in 2005, 2005, they took away the gospel category in the mobiles, and there was like a petition, like, "Oh my gosh, how could you do that?" Like, it was a lot of uproar. So the next year, 2006, it came. I think it was 2005. It was in a way. 2006, it came back. But there was a year that it got taken out. Then it came back, kind of thing. But now I think last year was the first year in about a couple of years they didn't even show it on TV.
Wow.
They did last year. The last year ceremony. I don't know. Because it moved to ITV, so they had to cut some stuff out for timing. But it was just interesting that it had to be that category. So it's the first year on ITV. It's usually it's on BBC One or it's on BBC. So it's on ITV now. So they cut out, and then so it wasn't shown on TV. That award wasn't shown on TV. So you got to remember that gospel music, especially in the UK, is a niche.
Yeah, it's a big niche.
Christian hip hop isn't. So you got a niche, and you got a niche within a niche. So it's a very small demographic. It's like, and then so it's like, you know those Russian dolls. You just it's like there's something smaller. So that's what Christian hip hop is in the UK. So then it's like, okay, cool. Is this really so labels are not going to touch it because how much money are you going to make? You got to remember that getting signed is like getting a mortgage or getting a loan. Like, if I put my money into you, I want a return. I want my money back plus in interest. That's in essence that's what getting signed is. So if I'm not gonna get a return on, because a lot of the budgets that they kind of go off guard a little bit, the budget that they set for each artist is dependent on the return that they're gonna make. So if they see you as an artist that can only make £20,000, they're only gonna put 15 into you so they can try and make 25 out of you. And do you see what I'm trying to say? So it's like Christian music, how much money can we really make from this? That's the mindset that they've got. Anyway, so yeah, one of them.
Should Christians be happy about that or not be happy, or should we not?
It's just the reality of life. It's like whether you should be happy about it or not that's a whole other issue. But it's just the reality because they're running a business. They're not running a charity. Like, so you got to see it from their standpoint of things. They're not running a charity. They're running a business, and it's like, if I'm putting money into you, so if they see, because this is probably what could happen. Christian music could become credible, fashionable. You know, a couple of years ago, nobody was touching grime. 2015, grime is the next big thing. Label owners are like, yeah, alright, cool. I need to put some money into this. I need to get Stormzy, I need to get him signed, so I can kind of So it's like if Christian music then gathers a big following, label owners, they don't care how they make the money. It's just as long as they make the money, make it happen. So yeah, things started going from there, and putting out music over the subsequent years. The scene changed a little bit for various different reasons. Is it now where it was before? No, but I think one of the beautiful things about the artists that are still making music now, they're taking their craft seriously. I'm talking about the hip hop demographic anyway, the rappers, they're taking their craft seriously. The writing has improved, musically has improved, videos have improved. The reality is we're still playing catch up, or they're still playing catch up.
With who?
With the mainstream arena. Because you got to think
catch up with the mainstream regardless of what.
Is that, do you mean musically or just catch up to celebrity?
I mean, in terms of the whole package. Because you got to see it like this. If I'm a consumer who is a young consumer, my thing is you want me to stop listening to X, Y, and Z and start listening to A, B, and C. So if you want me to make that transition, the video quality needs to be the same. Sonically, your music needs to be the same. Lyrically, you need to be on par. Production-wise, your branding needs to. So they're measuring up all these things in the head. Logically, it's like if you want me to invest my money as a consumer, so instead of investing in this artist, you're going to put it into this artist. I need to see a reason why. I need to be able to trust you with my money, or else.
Even all the examples you gave, therefore, wouldn't you need to be even better?
Based
on the stigma around Christian.
You need to be really good. Listen to this guy. This guy is it.
With Christian hip hop, immediately people hear it and they have a negative idea of it. So it can't be on par.
Yeah, it has to be.
You have to excel.
You need to excel.
And even if you excel, are people going to take it in? Because you understand.
So Gracious, right now you got a big song out there called The Hype. And in that song, you speak a little bit about God, and you say things like, can people now call you a preacher boy? Almost like you've lost credibility since you've become a Christian, or at least overtly a Christian. Talk to us about The Hype.
The Hype. You know what it was? Like the whole, after the migraine period, like I was making a lot of music just to make music's sake. Like, there was no meaning, there was no depth, there was no message. And all the most notable songs or the biggest artists in the world have a message. Their music resonates with someone, whether it's breakup, romance, whatever culture. Even as far as gang culture, there's someone out there who's struggling with it or going through it, and they relate to it. So when you make music aimlessly, it might be big, but it's not timeless. So it's here today, gone tomorrow. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was the stage I was in. I was trying to make music for a demographic of people that didn't know themselves and would take it in for the moment. And then it's flavour of the month. So I'm giving it to the radio, and the radio's like, it's alright. And if the radio said no, that was the be all and end all. But the industry has a way of manipulating how artists operate. Because when you get into the game, you don't know about radio, and you don't know about shows and tour agents and this and all this rubbish. You're just shutting down. And my brother said to me, you need to stop this Europop and go back to basics. And I was like, what do you mean? But I didn't know how. You understand?
Back to basics, what did he mean though?
Back to the beginning. Back to 8 bars, 16 bars, 32 bars, 4 bar hooks, 8 bar hooks. Back to basics. And I didn't get it because I didn't know how. And at the same time, I was going through my process spiritually. And my aunt always used to say, God is going to give you lyrics. You're not going to understand where they've come from, but he's going to give you lyrics. You're just going to start spraying. So make sure you're writing. And so I'm writing in my phone. And she goes, nah, write. So I'm writing pen, paper, basics. And I'm writing because basically when I was growing up, I was the hype guy. I've never been the lyrical guy. I used to be scared of the lyrics because I think it wasn't my thing. So when I started writing, I'm coming up with content that I'm saying it's not me who's written or wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So people are like, now when I spray, people are like, you have a ghostwriter because they've never heard Gracious spray. but I didn't know I could spray. But then I say God gave me lyrics. I don't understand where they've come from.
So lyrically, the hype. What was your message? What were you trying to go for? Was it?
I was trying to let people know that I'm back, doing what I love doing, and don't forget what I'm about.
But the deep thing about that song to me is that you're openly saying, "I love God."
Right now, this is
you've
it.
got a Bible in the video.
The compromise now was: do I come out as gracious of old or gracious of new? Because everyone refers to me now as Lance Gracious, and it got to a point where I was thinking I'm going to change my name to Lance Gracious because I feel gracious. The message he was about,
Gracious clear.
I can't preach that now.
100, yeah.
And then I thought, you know what, I can. So let me just do what I was good at and implement where I am now. Because I want people to know I'm a Christian. Because it's not like I'm gonna be on and then all of a sudden forget. Because when I had nothing, it was everything, and it is everything that's taken me to wherever I need to be. You know what I'm saying? So you lot need to know what time it is. So when I'm in there with the Bible, that Bible is what's got me through some dark times. So, like, when I'm letting people know that what team I'm representing, because a lot of artists are scared. Let's not get it twisted. They're shook because if you say certain things, and realistically, are you a leader or a follower?
Wow.
Muhammad Ali said he's the greatest, and in him saying it, everyone believed it. So if you get one no and you say nah, what I'm doing for the Lord is gonna bust.
That's a brave move you made, though. To be in the video with a Bible saying that I think the Almighty God is a brave move. And I think there's a lot of respect for that. But you haven't got all positives from that, though.
Well, this is it now. It's all subjective now because I was scared. I'm a person who I want to know everyone likes me. So if someone don't like me, it bugs me. 300 YouTube comments. One says, "Look at this preacher." I'm like, no. Everyone's saying I'm a preacher, so it irritates me. And through a lot of prayer and knowing who I am and that you can't please everyone has made me clock that, cool, it is what it is. And there are some Christians, and it all depends on your teaching, how you take things in, and if you understand where the message is coming from. Because if I said, Raf, listen, Mess, the tune you made, his first instinct is to have his back up because that's his craft. That's his craft. I'm him picking at his craft, and then after a while he'll realize that the place Lance is saying it from is a place of love, so he has to take it on board. But then if he knows that I'm a person who don't really feel him, and the places of hate, then it's like, nah, I'm not hearing that. You know what I'm saying? Whether it could be true or not.
What people saying?
Just people was like, the music's too crud.
Were these Christians?
Yeah, the music's too crud. Yeah, as in it's too gangster. It's just a bit mad, isn't it? Like.
So let's pause for a second. Is gospel music the beat? Is gospel music the bars? What is gospel music? And how do you know one music's too crud? It's not gospel enough. If the beat was the same but the bars were different, will it still be gospel? Like what? What is that?
It's a question no one will be able to answer because everyone's got their own interpretation.
Me personally, I think it's the message. Ultimately, I think the overriding message behind it determines it because it's not a tempo, it's not a style of music, it's not a genre of music. How could you put a genre on in a way someone's faith? It's not. It's a message, and I guess it's your interpretation of how God has worked in your life, whether it be ministry, whether it be praise, whether it be a story about something that you've been through. That's even if it's a dark place, that's depicted how you've come out the other end, like through God's grace. But it's just the overriding message behind it. I think that's the only way that you can determine that. So
the girl from Mary who made I Love God, I know a guy, and she's got it on a track. I've heard people slay her for that. You know, what do you guys think?
My thing is Messi just hit the nail on the head. Like, he hit the nail on the head in the sense that, like, gospel is is the message. Yeah. So let's think of it on a practical sense and on a logical sense. Underneath that gospel umbrella, you've got hip hop, jazz, R&B, praise and worship, contemporary Christian music, rock. Yeah. But yet you're saying gospel as a genre, but you've got like all those different genres of music. So you know, come back to the mobiles. When you look at the categories, you've got best grime, best hip hop. You're not gonna get Alexandra Burke in the same category as Stormzy, and he's not gonna be put in the same category as JLS because they're best group. So they've got all that. But then when it's gospel, it's like, oh yeah, just chuck everything in there. But they all make different genres of music. So applying that same logic to the umbrella and the question that you initially asked. Gospel isn't a genre, it's the message, and then underneath that there were different kinds, so there's gospel, hip hop, all that kind of stuff. Come back to the whole Erica Campbell I Love God thing. Again, I think it's like, well, it's music. And we were kind of discussing backstage as well about the whole trap thing and whatnot. And we that was quite interesting. But I think for me personally, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, it's just music. It's what makes it gospel isn't necessarily the beat. Neither is an artist, because honestly speaking, till this day, no, hear me out.
Would you have made it?
Hold on. Until this day, people say Kanye West Jesus Walks is a gospel tune. They said radio called that a gospel tune. It got nominated for Kanye got nominated for a gospel award at the was it the Grammy? Was it
It's down to interpretation.
It's down to
you would say, but I understand why.
I'm trying to remember
because
it was either a BET award or
imagine one of us made it. It'd fall into gospel category, but
because it's him.
You understand?
Did he have problems with that though?
He got nominated for a gospel award. I think it was I think it was either BET or Grammys.
People would have. I'm sure he would have got bad press.
I think it made the sheep grow to him more. So he's in tune with his and obviously masquerades all the other stuff he was doing. You know what I'm saying? But the question is, would you have made?
That's the thing. Would you have made the Erica Campbell tune?
That sound.
Yeah.
That rhythm. Would you?
Yeah, you would.
I would sit on that rhythm. Yeah.
Mess would you?
Yeah, I think so. Do you know what it is?
Would you have heard it?
I'll be 100. I ain't heard it.
But basically a trap song.
From what's been said, I don't think there's a problem with it. I don't.
But she said, if you don't love God, what's up with you? That was
okay, no. So the lyrics and
but then
that's a different.
No, but the lyrics is different. But then if you're saying,
you're talking about the beat.
Yeah.
But don't you think the essence of beats are important?
But then
I think
where they're derived from.
I always just think
origin.
Yeah, because I'm saying this is the argument now. They're saying this I love God stuff, yeah? What I'm saying is now, see it like this. Like, trap, yeah? This is what we're saying backstage, and we said we'll bring it here. Like, I make music, but I sit on grime the best. That's where I come from. That's what it is, isn't it? Like, I'm grime. Whether everything else I've touched, ultimately I'm grime, yeah? So, trap was made for the drug dealers and to bless the trap stars, yeah? So I'm saying, like, if the essence of a sound was to promote that and associate with that and stripping and whatnot, and stripping and twerking and all these things, yeah? Is it risky as an artist? Let's not say gospel. Yeah, we'll do that after. But as an artist of Erica Campbell's stature, to sit on one of them rhythms, because music takes you on a journey. When you hear a particular beat, you remember where you was when you heard it, when it came out, what you was doing. So if that genre is associated with drug dealing and trapping and twerking, can you be angry at someone if you hear that beat and you might do a one twerk and realize, no, this is the wrong one to twerk
but
to?
you can't be angry. You can't be angry. But
so then can you be angry at the artist, because they should be prepared to know that what they're sitting on evokes that emotion?
Yeah, but then it's all based on, because for one, you talk about origins. That's down to interpretation to an extent, to a degree, because there's some people that would have heard that music and not thought of it for the trappers. It might have been the origins to her may be completely different. You got to think they're actually from America. She could have been from, I don't know where she's from per se, like if she's from Atlanta or whatever, but the origins to her can be completely different. It's like like who's that guy? Ray Charles, for example. His music was based around gospel music, where he changed it and made it about secular music and gospel music. There was there was a divide, and there was all of that because maybe the origins to how he heard it, or maybe the origins were one thing, but how he heard it and how everything was different. Ultimately, the same way somebody could hear it and feel almost like, oh, it evokes a certain emotion. It may do the opposite, where somebody hears it and says, this is actually music that I enjoy, but it's actually telling me a different message. Like, this is a different message about it. Okay, what's she actually saying? And then through that, who knows, that could bring somebody closer to God.
They enjoy the
music. And then it's because the thing is, I just think that you can get to, because then if you talk about origins of music, then basically anybody that is Christian should only do praise and worship ministry, because you start to then kind of limit God to say that God can't take something that's bad and then say, do you know what, actually I'm using it for good and I'm using it to the glory of God, and that's scriptural. So I think you have to, I just don't think, although there's dangers,
but there's a thin line.
There's 100%
okay,
thin
but
line.
So Mess, in regard to what you were saying, you obviously have a bit of a different opinion to the other two. I'm saying you were talking about, we're not associating the instrumental and the message, and it's about the message, not the instrumental.
Yeah.
That's what basically you're saying.
I thought Trip said that.
No, I don't.
Okay, let me ask you directly.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Birthday Sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, around what, 2008, 2009, I think that was the song. Yeah, for sex. Yeah. Our question is this: if you had godly gospel message on that beat, is that fine?
What would you think of?
What do you think?
Oh, is it fine?
When you heard
of?
the beat, what would you think of before you heard the lyrics?
Knowing the tune, I probably would think of sex, but I would think of sex, and then I may even rebuke myself or say, but I think what the point is I think that's, it says the heart of a man is wicked, or that you should deny your flesh. To me, that's a fleshly. That's a fleshly thought process, if that makes sense.
It's a natural thought process.
It's a natural, but then it's natural for us. If it's our flesh, like acting out on your flesh isn't an unnatural thing. If you see a woman that you like and you saw her and she was attractive and you grabbed on her bum, that's a natural thing. It's a natural thing. Is it right? No. Is it something that we should do? No. We should deny our flesh. So even though we hear it and we may say, okay, birthday sex, I remember birthday sex, I remember what I did when I did that. That's kind of what we should deny. So somebody doing it isn't necessarily wrong that they've done it. That's more a condition of our own hearts and our own walk.
So that's a personal conviction.
That's a personal conviction. So you can choose to say, do you know what? The way that this song's made me feel, I probably just, let me prevent it, because I don't know, in my walk right now, I don't know whether I'm mature enough to hear this song and all those fleshly desires not to come back. So I'm gonna not listen to it.
But your point is that the person that writes the song
made it
on that beat
should know better.
Yeah, no, but then the person that made it at the same time, that same song, someone else may hear it and get a personal revelation to say, okay, well, I knew that this song meant that, but actually they're saying what they're saying on it, I'm above what it meant before, because when it says that in Christ that we're a new creature, all things before passed away, and all things, so now you should be able to rise above what your flesh told you that it meant before that, and say, okay, that is,
I'm saying that's one perspective, but then also at the same point, like, okay, I think if a song is a cover of a tune that was made with the spirit of whatever, that is different to if you just took a beat that's made.
Potentially.
Because then, like, for me, music is like if I done a freestyle over Tupac Hit 'Em Up, and spoke about God. What he was ramping within that song, immediately when you hear the beat, you want to do gang signs and start. You know what I'm saying?
You're thinking about.
It's a thing where I should know better, especially if I'm representing what I represent. I should know better. So it's a thing where if I put that, I should have that in my mind, but not everyone is at that level to know. They just think they're making a tune.
So, but Mess, what you're saying is that people will listen to that. Someone might listen and be like, tune, hit them up. Oh, good message. Oh, Christ.
Potentially, yeah. I think we shouldn't ever limit God.
What God
I
can
think
do with that
what
song.
God can do with anything. So we can't say that because a song's associated with something that somebody
Is that
through
a
Christ.
limit on God though?
Potentially.
I don't think it's a limit. I think
It's
it's an application of wisdom.
I agree.
But
Is
with
it
that.
wisdom that that everyone has?
No, this is the thing. Bible talks about all things being lawful when all things are expedient.
Like,
So there are certain things you can do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you should do.
You should do.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Then in the Bible, New Testament it talks about being careful not to lead your brother into sin. So be careful of the meat that you eat.
Yeah.
Now, so that's why I agree with Lance on this. So with the covers, that you're doing, you have to be mindful. Think, okay, cool. Even though I'm coming with a good message, even though somebody could catch a revelation, there is still a possibility that somebody will hear the original and be like, actually, I remember what I used to say back in the day. So in that sense, that's with the covers. But then when you're talking about the original tune with I Love God, the Eric Campbell tune, I think it's because that's an original track. You're talking about the sonical scope of that tune. Now the same way
what she's saying is in way. That's a whole how she's saying.
Yeah, that's a different.
Obviously, try.
Yeah, that's a different thing altogether.
Appeal.
But if we're just talking about the instrumental, the production, and the sonical scope, that's a different thing altogether. Because you need to then remember we need to be consistent with that train of thought that you've got across all levels of music. Because the same way you're saying, trap was derived from that, bro. We all know the origins of hip hop. We all know the origins. We're all from London. We know the origins of grime, kind of thing. So then, are we going to be consistent and apply that same train of thought to those other genres of music?
Wow.
But then again, it can be argued the origins of these things, because if these things, if these things was designed for or to push out the message that we are selling drugs and we getting money.
So against God.
You understand? Whereas I can sit here and argue that grime was an expression of us having no money and them not
the only thing I would say to you, there's probably someone in America in the deep dales of South Carolina or wherever they are saying that it wasn't about trap, it wasn't about drugs initially, it wasn't about that.
There's people with that mindset.
I think that's a twang.
But then
because it's called trap music.
But then you say,
trappers.
do you know what it is? But you say with grime, because even when you think about grime in itself, the actual thing is not a good term. Like in terms of the actual definition of grime.
But what are you saying? That's a bit more the poverty.
But what I'm saying is, I get what you're saying, the poverty, but we know the grime scene. All I'm saying is, someone else maybe had jumped on the grime scene slightly late, would have heard Forward Rhythm and said or any tune and saying Bats and Gats, draw for the. You know what it is? But someone would have heard a song. For just circle, then in the back we got draw for the miracle. Like what is he saying? That is not the.
Let me say something with this now. Where you lot are going, origin, origin is what I'm focusing on, not what it's become but where it got taken.
The only reason why I say that, we probably couldn't say hand on heart where the origin of trap music came from.
But I'm saying it's the founders.
Yeah, but who are the founders?
Whoever, 3-6 Mafia, all the, I'm saying it's like everyone says now we know Wiley is the Godfather, or Wiley started this or did this or did this. So if Wiley was to say the name grime, he never called it grime. It was just a sound he was doing. But grime fat because of where we come from and the poverty. So grime, it couldn't be called Lala because we weren't living Lala. Our lives were grimy. Like we was trying to make it. Or they was trying to make it and we was emulating.
I'm not disputing your point in terms of where grime came from. I just say that 100%. If we start to talk about origins and we don't 100% for a fact know what the origins were, we can't say that. So that means it's bad. Because what's the origins of hip hop? Hip hop was beatboxing in the 80s about
Yeah, but hip hop was
Social injustice.
hip-hop-
Yeah, social
but
injustice.
That's what I'm saying. Hip hop was for deprived kids in inner cities to say, listen, the police keep beating us up, they
But
keep
it
killing
wasn't-
us,
but
and it was
this
an
is what I'm saying.
expression
Initially-
of their reality.
But initially,
that's why
it wasn't
NWA
just
and
about
these
that.
people came.
But what you gotta understand is, even NWA, hip hop was already around for 15 years before they came
But
around.
the 15 years before they came around, it was an expression of how
Exactly.
people felt. And the way people felt, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to all these people, they were just speaking about, yo, da-da-da-da, and XYZ, and LL Cool J, Mama gonna knock you out. And it was hard, it was hitting, it was like, we wanna, and then people came and made it about how much money I got, how many people I can kill. Whereas before, the message was, deprived inner city kids, we just want to rap and we want to
Is it fair to say that hip hop has always been, and that genre of music has always been a reflection of the time?
Yeah.
So with trap music, that's just what's going on at the moment. So with grime music, that was so. Whereas the vehicle has always been there. It's just as you've gone along this journey, it's a pit stop. Oh, this is what's happening at this pit stop. All right, cool. Carry on the journey further along that line. Oh, this is what's happening at this pit stop.
I can take that. That's real.
Guys, we're gonna have to end it. It's literally
Part two.
definitely gonna be a part two.
Part two.
Definitely
Yeah,
gonna be a
yeah.
part two. Definitely gonna be a part two because we want to speak about. I want to throw a few things out there so people can look forward to part two. We want to speak about. Am I a Christian rapper, a gospel rapper, or am I a Christian that raps? We want to throw those sort of things out. We want to speak about people that started in the church. So people like Katy Perry and all those people there, Katy Perry, all those people there, Beyonce, and all those people that start, even like Kings of Leon, who are, and Coldplay, they're choir boys, you know what I mean? And talk about that journey and, talk about where should we be going? Should we be light in darkness in the secular world? So there's so much that we're going to speak about. And I want to thank you guys for coming onto the show. And guys, listen, part two will happen with Triple O, Messi and Gracious K. And I guess the overall message is here that God has redeemed us.
Amen.
From a particular lifestyle that we're with, but that doesn't mean that we change the amazing lyrics we've got, the style that we've got, the expression that we have from God can be in various ways, and we're going to be speaking that in part two. So thank you very much, guys, and stay blessed.
Yo, right now you're locked into the sounds of Gracious K, and this is a Sound Words acoustic vibe of my new single, The Hype, with man like Pedro. Yeah. New styling. Look, and I'm on a like, yeah, presidential. I can't wait till I got a presidential. I mean, the God fearing is essential. Wearing my own brand preferential. I got a buff thing, raw, she's spicy. And every day I thank God almighty. At one point, pair of guys didn't like me. Come on Instagram likes, what's filled with a wifey. It's nuts, I swear man, it's nuts. Man, come a wifey with all this stuff. Talking the crowd, I'm cheating, you mention. Acting like you wear extensions. Man, hate me because I don't see the mention. They made it get smoke them just like Benson. Rap with me, but I bring all of the noise. Hence now, they like I just took all of the rights. Look, I bring the vibes and hype anytime that I'm in the rate. You can start in the seats, but I swear that you're gonna end up in the stage. Cause me I bring all of the hype. Me I bring all of the hype. Me I bring all of the hype. Me I bring all of the You ever had gal and you ever had dough. Had some swag, unlimited flow. When I was younger, I moved them O's, but then I got shook, so I tried that fraud. Mob that crew, yeah, we ran the roads. Merc, I tucks these smiles, bow. J from a Lati, actually we ran that stretch in some people's going on cold. So Icy froze up the dance floor. It was all hammer, manic, rhymes. When you had the baddest tune up on roll. I was out here trying to get busy with the grub. My best friend, he was getting busy with the snuff. I swear if he ever took a tour in his house, he would think you stepped into Toys R Us. Look, I bring the vibes and hype in his hand that I'm in the ring. You can start in the seats, but I swear that you're gonna end up on the stage. Cause me I bring all of the hype. Me I bring all of the hype. Me I bring all of the hype. Me I bring all of the I'm on drive harmony. Now I'm a headliner. Same MCs when I call ask me for a feature. I have to tell them nah. Must be living in Narnia. We ain't friends, it's Pete, my dog. Me, I don't trust the law to y'all. Now I'm back in the game, so it's law for y'all. It's law for y'all. I'm back in the game, so it's law for y'all. I'm back in the game like I ain't never left. Too big in the game like your clothes are stretched. Me, I had enough of being sad to them. Like right now I'm going on mad than them. My fuse is lit, so you best know that my crew here's going on better than bad like them man are thinking like man are some washed out MC like. Them man are saying yeah man are some preacher now. Christian boy like. I'm like Pedro, like them don't know who I am. Yo, look, everybody's like, "Hoy, who's the bad boy MC?" 1122 running up street like, "Show me how you get down." I already told you I'm the beast like, "Hoy, who's the bad boy MC?" 1122 running up street like, "Show me how you get down." I already told you I'm the beast like, they know me just can't swear down. I'm a burning it way down, burning it way like Gracious K with the heavyweight, and I'm a burning it way down, burning it way down. Gracious K know me, I don't play. I will burn it way, I'm a burning it stay.